What if everything you've known about Heartland has been a dream? What if Amy's journey, the heartache, the triumphs, and the challenges she's faced have all been part of a subconscious world created to help her cope? In the opening of season 19, a new chapter unfolds, one that promises to bring hope, mystery, and the possibility of a fresh start. But is it really a new beginning, or will the ghosts of the past continue to haunt the heart of Heartland? The journey to uncover the truth begins now. The season opens with Amy, lying unconscious in a hospital bed, the soft beep of the machines monitoring her pulse and heart rate the only sound in the sterile room. She is surrounded by familiar faces, Lou, Jack, and Ty, but something isn't right. Their expressions are etched with sadness, and they stand frozen as if waiting for a miracle. Outside, the wind howls against the windows of Heartland Ranch, but inside, time seems to have stopped. In a distant corner of her mind, Amy can hear the whispers of loved ones calling her back to reality. Each whisper pulls her deeper into the haze of her coma, leaving her trapped in a world that is both familiar and entirely alien. As she floats in this unconscious space, the last memory she has is of Ty's sudden death, an event that changed the course of her life forever. It is here, in this space between life and death, that Amy's mind begins to create a world of its own. This world is a dreamscape, one where everything seems normal, where Ty is still alive, and the pain of losing him never truly happened. Amy's subconscious mind has recreated Heartland in the image of what she wishes could have been. Ty by her side, Lindy growing up with both of them, and the family dynamics intact. In this dream world, Amy's struggles are different. They are shaped by grief, yes, but also by the desire to move forward with the family she's always known. But the question lingers. Will Amy ever wake up from this world she's created for herself? In this alternate version of Heartland, everything seems too perfect to be true. The ranch is thriving, the horses are healthy, and the bond between Amy and Ty is stronger than ever. But as the dream progresses, Amy starts to notice cracks in this idyllic world. Tiny inconsistencies begin to surface. Jack's smile doesn't reach his eyes. Lou's words feel rehearsed. Even Ty, though physically present, feels distant, like a memory she's struggling to hold on to. Amy is torn between the world she's created and the truth she's desperately trying to avoid. As Amy navigates this dream world, she is forced to confront the things she never allowed herself to process: her guilt over Ty's death, her fear of moving on without him, and her deep-rooted love for the family she's always called home. But something is pulling at her, something that won't let her forget the truth. The deeper she falls into this dream, the more she begins to realize that her mind is trying to tell her something. Perhaps this world isn't meant to be her escape. Perhaps it is a reflection of the pain she needs to confront head-on in order to heal. Outside of Amy's dream, the ranch continues to carry on without her. Lou, Jack, and the rest of the family are doing their best to keep the ranch running. But the absence of Amy's healing touch and Ty's steady presence is undeniable. Lou, in particular, is struggling to balance the responsibilities of the ranch with her own grief over the loss of Ty. She feels the weight of the family's future resting on her shoulders, and while she tries to stay strong, the cracks in her resolve are beginning to show. She is also torn between holding on to the past and embracing the future, something she knows Amy would want, but doesn't know if she's ready for. As the first episode unfolds, the audience is drawn into the mystery of whether Amy will wake up from this coma and what the consequences will be for the family she left behind. Will she ever return to the reality that has been so cruelly altered? Or is this dream world where she belongs? And if she does wake up, will the relationships that have been left hanging be able to heal? The stakes have never been higher, and the journey to uncover the truth will challenge not just Amy, but the entire Heartland family. The clock is ticking, and the mystery deepens. Can Amy find a way to navigate through the maze of her subconscious and wake up to the world she once knew? Or will she remain trapped in the comfort of her dream, unable to let go of the past and face the future? The suspense builds. Amy's world, both real and imagined, is on the brink of a new chapter, but the question remains. Will it be the fresh start everyone hopes for, or the unraveling of everything they thought they knew about Heartland? As Amy drifts deeper into her coma, the lines between reality and her dream world begin to blur. the once familiar faces of Heartland start to transform. In this subconscious realm, the past comes rushing back in waves, sweeping Amy into memories that she hasn't dared to confront. These memories are both a refuge and a prison, trapping her in a cycle of loss and love, healing and grief. Ty's presence in this dream is undeniable. He's with her in every moment, helping her face the challenges of running Heartland, caring for Lindy, and continuing the work they began together. But there's something unsettling about his return. Though his actions are comforting, his eyes reveal a sadness that Amy cannot ignore. Ty's love for Amy is strong, but in this dream, there's a sense of distance. He is not fully present, as though he knows something that Amy cannot yet understand. In one particularly haunting moment, Amy and Ty are at the barn, working with one of the horses that needs special attention. As they stand side by side, Ty looks at Amy and says, "You've been carrying this for far too long, Amy. You don't have to do it alone anymore." His words resonate deeply with her, but they carry a weight that she cannot shake off. Ty's calm demeanor masks an underlying urgency. It's as if he's trying to tell her something important, something that will help her break free from this self-imposed dream. But the message is unclear, and the more Amy tries to understand, the further he seems to drift from her. This tension between Amy and Ty grows throughout the dream. It's clear that Ty wants Amy to move on, to let go of her guilt and embrace the life she still has ahead of her. But Amy, caught in the web of her subconscious, is unwilling to fully let go of him. Every time she tries to move forward, she is pulled back into the past, into the life they had together. This emotional conflict reaches a breaking point when Amy confronts Ty in the heart of the dream world, asking him why he hasn't said goodbye. Ty's answer is simple, but powerful. "I never really left, Amy, but you have to let me go to find your way back." Outside of Amy's coma, Lou and Jack struggle to keep Heartland together. Lou, as the new head of the family, has stepped up in ways she never expected. She runs the day-to-day operations of the ranch, manages the finances, and keeps things running smoothly. But it's clear that she's exhausted. The weight of leadership, coupled with the absence of both Amy and Ty, is taking a toll on her. The once vibrant energy of the ranch now feels more like a heavy burden. Despite her best efforts, Lou is grappling with a deep sense of loss. She feels responsible for Amy's well-being, yet she can't help but wonder if she's doing enough. There are moments when she feels herself on the edge of breaking down, but she keeps pushing forward, determined not to let the ranch fall apart. Her conversations with Jack, though filled with love and concern, often end in silence, as neither of them can find the right words to express the depth of their grief. Jack, too, is struggling in his own way. The loss of Ty has left a hole in his heart, and despite his best attempts to be strong for Lou and the rest of the family, the sadness is overwhelming. He finds himself retreating to the quiet of his old cabin, away from the hustle and bustle of the ranch. In these solitary moments, Jack wrestles with his own memories of Ty, the young man he had come to love like a son. The ranch feels quieter, emptier, without Ty's steady presence. The animals, once a source of joy, now seem like a reminder of everything they've lost. Meanwhile, back in the dream world, Amy begins to question the very fabric of her reality. She's starting to understand that this perfect life she's living, this world where Ty is still alive, where everything is as it once was, isn't real. The inconsistencies are too apparent to ignore any longer. The unease she feels in her interactions with Ty, the strange sense of distance between them, and the growing realization that she can't escape her grief, all point to one inescapable truth. This dream is a construct of her mind, a place where she has hidden away from the unbearable pain of losing Ty. But Amy isn't ready to wake up. In her heart, she believes that if she stays here long enough, if she can hold on to this world, maybe, just maybe, things will go back to the way they were. She can't bear the thought of facing the reality without Ty, without the life they built together. She wonders if waking up would mean the end of everything, the final farewell to a life that once felt so complete. As she struggles with this internal battle, the dream world begins to change around her. The lush fields of Heartland start to wither, the once vibrant colors of the barn fade, and even Ty's face seems to blur in her vision. It's as if the dream itself is trying to push her toward the truth. And then, in a moment of clarity, Amy hears a voice, Ty's voice, softly calling her name. "Amy," he says, "you have to wake up. You have to let go." The dream world starts to unravel, and Amy feels the pull of reality growing stronger. She realizes that, despite how painful it may be, she cannot stay in this world forever. She must face her grief, confront her guilt, and find the strength to move on. But what will the world look like when she wakes up? And will her family be ready for the person she is now, the person she's becoming through this struggle? Back in the real world, Lou and Jack continue to navigate the uncertainty of their lives without Amy and Ty. They are unaware of the turmoil Amy is facing in her coma, but the emotional stakes are high for both of them. The question looms, will Amy wake up in time to reclaim her place in the family, or will the dream of Heartland as it once was remain just that? A dream? The tension between Amy's dream world and the real world grows as the season progresses, leading to a heart-wrenching revelation that will change everything. But for now, the dream continues, and Amy's journey toward healing has only just begun. Amy's dream world has become both a sanctuary and a prison, a place where she can live the life she's always wanted, yet one that forces her to confront the unresolved pain she's buried deep within herself. The emotional weight of Ty's loss is omnipresent, even in the dream. As the days pass, Amy's sense of reality continues to slip further away. She has moments of clarity where she realizes that she's not truly living. She's only existing in the echo of what once was. Yet, the temptation to remain in this false reality is powerful. In the dream, Amy and Ty work together on the ranch, as if nothing ever happened. They raise Lindy, care for the horses, and continue to build their dream. But while their love and connection are palpable, Amy begins to feel a growing emptiness inside. This world, perfect as it seems, is hollow. Ty's presence, while comforting, is not enough to fill the void. The longer Amy stays, the more the cracks in her idealized world become impossible to ignore. Ty, though he remains by her side, seems to change. His smile fades as the days go by, and his words, once filled with encouragement and support, start to feel like warnings. One evening, as they sit on the porch watching the sunset together, Amy looks at Ty and asks, "Why does it feel like you're slipping away from me?" Ty hesitates before answering, his voice filled with a quiet sadness. "It's not that I'm slipping away, Amy," he says, his eyes meeting hers with a deep, unspoken understanding. "It's that you need to wake up. You can't live in this world forever. You have to face what's real, what's waiting for you." Amy recoils, her heart aching with the weight of his words. She wants to believe him, but the thought of leaving this peaceful dream terrifies her. This world is where she feels close to him, where everything still makes sense. To wake up would mean confronting the reality that Ty is gone, that the world she once knew is forever changed. How can she face that without falling apart? As her subconscious pulls her deeper into the dream, the world around her begins to distort even more. The once familiar landmarks of Heartland start to become unrecognizable. An eerie mist hangs over the fields, and the once vibrant trees begin to wither. The horses that Amy has cared for so lovingly now seem distant, almost spectral. The ranch itself, once a place of safety and comfort, begins to feel cold and empty. This shift in the dream is Amy's mind trying to push her toward awakening, but she refuses to acknowledge it. She holds on to the illusion with all her might, unwilling to let go of the life she's created. She convinces herself that if she can just hold on a little longer, if she can just find a way to keep Ty close, she can somehow make everything right again. But deep down, Amy knows that she is running from the truth. The dream, in all its beauty, is only a temporary escape, a fragile illusion that cannot last forever. Meanwhile, in the real world, Lou and Jack are struggling to keep everything afloat. They know Amy is fighting for her life, but the uncertainty of her condition weighs heavily on them both. Lou tries to maintain control of Heartland, but without Amy's unique connection to the horses and her ability to heal, things are starting to fall apart. The animals, once thriving under Amy's care, are now restless, and the ranch itself seems to be losing its energy. Lou's anxiety grows with each passing day. She feels as though she's losing control of everything she's worked so hard to build. She tries to stay strong for the sake of the family, But the pressure of managing the ranch, while also watching Amy's health decline, is taking a toll on her. There are moments when Lou feels completely overwhelmed, unable to cope with the weight of the responsibilities on her shoulders. She keeps asking herself, how long can we keep going like this? How long until we lose everything? Jack, too, is struggling, but in his own quiet way. The loss of Ty has left an undeniable hole in his heart. He can't shake the feeling that the ranch, without Ty's steady presence, is adrift. He misses Ty's quiet wisdom, his calm demeanor, and his unwavering dedication to Heartland. Jack doesn't know how to move forward, not without Ty to help guide him. But he knows that he has to. He owes it to the family and to Amy to keep the ranch alive. He starts to spend more time working the land, retreating into the physical labor that has always grounded him. But even the earth beneath his feet feels different now, unsteady and uncertain. As the season progresses, Jack and Lou are confronted with a harsh reality. Heartland is changing. It's not just about keeping the ranch running anymore. It's about finding a way to heal, to move forward without the people they've lost. And that healing, it seems, begins with Amy. Without her, Heartland feels incomplete. Without Ty, the whole family is fractured. There's an undeniable void, one that can only be filled when Amy returns. Back in the dream world, Amy begins to break. The illusion of perfection starts to crumble, and she can no longer ignore the signs that this life is not real. She finds herself standing in the middle of the ranch, the sun setting behind her, casting long shadows over the land. The barn, once a symbol of hope and family, is now nothing more than an empty shell. The horses have disappeared, and the wind carries with it a sense of finality. "Amy," Ty's voice calls out, this time echoing through the emptiness. "You have to wake up." Amy's heart races. She looks around desperately, her chest tight with the unbearable weight of what she knows she must do. But she's afraid to let go, afraid to face the pain that awaits her in the real world. She turns to Ty, her eyes filled with tears. "What if I can't? What if I can't live without you?" Ty steps toward her, his expression filled with compassion and love. "You already have, Amy. You have to believe that you can. And you have to believe that I'm with you, even if you can't see me. You're stronger than you know." The dream world begins to dissolve around her, the mist swallowing the once beautiful landscape. Amy knows that it's time to wake up, time to face the truth. But the question remains, will she be able to return to the world she left behind? Or will she be forever changed by the dream that she can no longer escape? As the episode comes to a close, Amy stands on the precipice of awakening, the world around her swirling in a vortex of emotion. The dream is slipping away, but the question lingers. Will she ever truly be able to heal? And can Heartland survive without the people who defined its very soul? As Amy's dream world begins to unravel, she is pulled back into the quiet, sterile room where she has been lying in a coma for what feels like an eternity. The harsh sounds of the hospital machines start to fade in, replacing the comforting echoes of the ranch. Her eyes flutter open, and she is met with a soft blur. Figures standing by her side, their faces a mix of concern and relief. For a moment, she doesn't know where she is. The world around her feels both familiar and distant. The harsh reality crashes in as her eyes focus on Lou's tear-streaked face. "Amy," Lou whispers, her voice trembling, "you're awake. Oh, thank God. We were so worried." Amy tries to speak, but her throat is dry, her body heavy as if it hasn't moved in days. She looks around, taking in her surroundings. This isn't the world she left behind. The warmth of Heartland, the comforting presence of Ty, it's all gone. Her heart sinks as the full weight of what has happened begins to hit her. She's no longer in that perfect, idyllic dream she once inhabited. She's back in the real world, and it's just as painful as she feared. The quiet hum of the hospital room feels oppressive, almost suffocating. The sharp contrast to the peaceful dream world she just left behind leaves her feeling disoriented and raw. Amy wants to reach out, to ask where Ty is, but she knows. Deep down, she already knows the answer. Ty is gone, and no matter how much she wishes it wasn't true, no dream can undo the pain of that loss. The first few moments of her awakening are disorienting, a blur of emotions she can barely comprehend. The fear, the anger, the overwhelming sadness, they all hit her like a tidal wave. She wants to pull the blankets over her head and hide from the world, but Lou, Jack, and the others won't let her. They've been waiting for her to return, for her to fight through the fog of grief and come back to them. They need her to heal, to take the first steps toward reclaiming the family she once knew. But the journey ahead isn't going to be easy. As Amy slowly regains her strength, the emotional weight of her awakening becomes clear. The truth hits her like a punch to the gut. Ty isn't coming back. She can't hold on to the past anymore. In the dream, Ty was her anchor, her support. But now she is left alone in a world that feels unfamiliar and cruel. The pain of losing him is unbearable. It's all she can do to stay present, to get through the hours of the day without breaking down completely. Back at Heartland, Lou and Jack are doing their best to carry on, but the loss of Amy's healing presence has left a void they can't ignore. They've managed to keep the ranch running, but it's clear that things are changing. The energy of the ranch, once full of life, now feels stagnant. The animals, the land, the people, they all feel the absence of Ty and Amy. The ranch that once symbolized hope and family now carries the weight of their grief. Jack, ever the quiet pillar of the family, feels the loss of Ty deeply, but it's Amy's absence that has truly left him shaken. He watches as she struggles to adjust to life without Ty, knowing that she is caught in a battle between holding on and letting go. He wishes he could help her more, but he understands that some wounds are too deep to heal quickly. He's seen the pain in her eyes, the same pain that mirrors his own. Lou, too, is torn. She's doing everything she can to keep the family together, to make sure that Heartland doesn't fall apart in the wake of the tragedy, but she can't help but feel like a piece of herself is missing. She doesn't know how to help Amy move forward, how to give her the strength she needs to keep going. Lou can only offer her love and support, but even she isn't sure if that will be enough. As Amy begins to regain